everybody, this is Miss Sarah from the Fayetteville Public Library, and this is Teens Try It Tuesday. Today I'm going to show you how to make melted crayon art. It's really cool and I hope you try it. Teens Try It Tuesday is part of our Summer Reading Club 2020. Summer Reading Club is coming to an end here in July, but we hope you're still participating with us. Make sure you log all your reading minutes on Read Squared. All right, let's get started. Here are the supplies you need to make melted crayon art. You need some crayons, they don't have to be new, a pencil sharpener, different kinds of paper, probably not copy paper because it's a little thin. It would be better if it was a slightly thicker craft paper, or you could use cardboard. These are cut from cereal boxes. You need parchment paper and an iron. So the first thing that you're going to do is peel the paper off of your crayon and go ahead and sharpen it. It's pretty easy to do. You can see that I've already done quite a few here. And actually, I found that instead of sharpening it into the pencil sharpener, it's easier to just get a paper plate and do it straight onto the plate into different piles. The other thing that I found handy to have is a little knife, because the wax gets stuck inside the pencil sharpener. So a little knife just helps shake that wax out. So I have already shaved quite a few crayons for our project. You don't have to do this many, but this was about a whole box of crayons. So I'm going to go ahead and take my crayons, and you could do a pattern or you could just do colors all over the design. It's really up to you. So you don't want to put the crayon on too thick, mostly just because that will use up a lot of your crayon. But you do want to spread it around, because once it starts to melt, it doesn't really move very much. So you want to try to spread it around so that you can get most of your design covered. Might look cute. And just to kind of experiment, I'm just gonna put in some white just to see what that does to the finished design. Obviously you've noticed that I'm working on a piece of cardboard. I'm in my kitchen and I don't want crayon to get everywhere, so that could be a good idea. Or you could do this outside if you have access to electricity outside. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is get your parchment paper and tear it. You just need a piece big enough to cover your design. And then very carefully, you're going to lay it on top of your design like that. All right, now you take your iron. This is just a regular iron, and I just have it on a regular cotton setting. So that cotton actually is kind of hot, so actually it looks like I should maybe turn it down a little. So I'm just gonna iron that on. I'm not gonna keep it in one place for too long. Kind of just for safety. You don't want to burn through the parchment paper, or you just want to apply a little bit of heat. So when you're done, you're just going to lift up the parchment paper. And there it is. And this takes a second to dry, but actually not too long. that part is almost all dry right there. Now, I forgot to mention something, and that is if you're not satisfied with how something looks, like there's maybe some spots right there that could look a little better, you could do another layer of crayon and then iron over it again. This blue to me looks really good, and that may just be the thickness of the blue crayon covers the cardboard better. Anyway, it doesn't look too bad, and that was really fun. So let's try it with something else. Here's a flower that I cut out, and I think I'm just gonna try a different approach this time. I'm just gonna mix it up. I'm not gonna pay attention to any kind of pattern. See what that does. I am going to put a piece of paper over my flower. Then I'm going to use the parchment paper. And parchment paper is kind of expensive, so I'm actually just gonna fold this in half. The wax side is folded in, all right, because you don't want crayon on your iron, obviously. And let's see what happens. All we can see is that our wax from the letter S is melting again. You really don't need that much heat. It doesn't take that much effort to melt it. All right, so now we're gonna pull it up. Oh, wow. Okay, so I probably had the iron a little too hot. I put too much heat on it maybe. So my flower does not look good, but that's okay. Now, what does look kind of neat is my paper design. And that's pretty much already dry, which is really kind of neat. Once it dries, as you would guess, it dries with a lot of crayon texture. So this is sort of an interesting idea that kind of leads us into the last part of this project, is that you can do a design with a mirrored image. And what I mean by that is a heart, for example. It's the same on both sides. So what we're going to do is only put crayon on this side of the heart, and then we'll fold it over and iron it, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm learning a little bit from my flower that does not look so good that I am not going to mix my colors. I'm going to try to put colors in certain areas and see if that maybe works better. I'm going to throw in a little white just because I thought that looked pretty good on the letter S design. You can move your crayon around a little just to help fill in any gaps you might have. Okay, so now you're going to close your design and do the same process that we've done before. So I'm going to put the parchment paper over that design. I'm using the same piece of parchment paper. I'm going to try not to keep the heat on as long as I have, just because I believe I have my iron on a little too hot. I would recommend a low setting. Lift up the parchment paper. Oh, that looks good. So it's hot, be careful. And we're gonna see if we can't open this up. Oh, wow. Well, that looks really pretty. Also, you know what I think would be cute is to do this on a much smaller scale. Actually, let's just try that. So I'm going to cut out a smaller heart. You're really not going to need much at all. And I'm going to go ahead and do some white. Okay, I'm going to fold that over. It's so little. And then I'm going to put my parchment paper back on. Iron it. Just be careful because right when you lift the iron up, it is hot. And if any of this crayon got ironed, it is also hot. Oh, that's cute. So again, what's pretty neat about this is it's going to dry with a good texture, which I think that gives it a really cool look. So my idea for doing something small is to then take it and you could attach it to something like a card. So I'm going to put a little glue on the back. And then I have a little note card here. And I'm just going to glue that right there in the middle. Press it down a little bit. And you could make your own set of greeting cards. That's adorable. I love that. You could send that to a friend. Everybody needs a piece of mail right now, that is for sure. All right, well everybody, I hope that you enjoyed melted crayon art. It's really a lot of fun. I think there's a ton of design ideas that you could explore. I hope you try it and I hope you have a lot of fun with it. Thanks so much for joining us today for Teens Try It Tuesday. I hope you make some really cool melted crayon art, maybe something for your room, something for a friend. I hope you have fun with it. Thanks for joining us and we'll see you soon. Bye.